Hello everyone, in this video tutorial you're going to learn how to increase the competition factor in your Scratch games by adding in health and time competition variables. So let's get started. Now the game that I'll be working with is the Skywars game that I've created. Let me just walk you through what I have already done. I have a player sprite in this Skywars game that can be controlled using arrow keys to move. I have an enemy sprite that is automated, so I program it such that it will glide to random position around the right side of my game screen. I've also created two types of bullet sprites, one for the player, one for the enemy. Let's take a look at the player bullet sprite first. Okay, so basically this player bullet sprite is going to be launched by the use of the spacebar key. Alright, it's going to create clones of itself, and all these clones are going to start by going to the player sprite first, and then it's going to forever move to the right side of the screen. This code is basically a change x by 10 code. Okay, so this moves towards the right side of the screen where the enemy sprite is. Okay, and something else that's going to happen is if the bullet sprite touches the edge of the game screen or if it touches the enemy, it's going to delete itself and disappear. Okay, so this is the code for the bullet sprite. For the enemy bullet sprite, it's similar to the player bullet sprite, just that it's a bit different in the starting part. It's going to start randomly, so it's going to be automated. Scratch is going to pick a random time interval between 1 to 1.5 seconds for it to launch and create a clone of itself. It's going to start off by going to the enemy first, and then it will move towards the left side of the game screen by changing its X direction by -10. And similar to the player bullet sprite, if it touches the edge of the game screen or if it touches the player sprite, it's going to delete its clones and disappear. Okay, so this is the current coding that I have. Let's test this out. So once I've started the game, you'll notice that my enemy sprite starts to move automatically and fire its bullet sprite as well. Okay, for my player sprite, I will have to use my arrow key controls to move it around and the space bar to shoot out its bullets. Okay, now as you can notice, even as the bullets are touching either of the sprite, nothing is happening because we have not added in the competition. So today we're going to create health and time variables to give that competition effect in our games. Okay, so let's start with the health variable first, and I'm going to use my enemy sprite as a base to do my health variable coding. Okay, let's go to the variables tab. We're going to make two health variables, one for the player and one for the enemy. Okay, I'm just going to shift the enemy health indicator to the right side of the screen so that it's above the enemy. Alright, now first things first, for this health variable to work, we need to assign some health points to each of our player and enemy sprite. Okay, so I'm going to do this with a simple code. When green flag is clicked, I'm going to set health points of my enemy to be 20. The number is entirely up to you to set, but I'm just going to do 20 for a start. Player health is going to be set to 20 points as well. Okay, now for the fun part, we're going to add some interactions between the player bullet and the enemy bullet, as well as the health points of either of the sprites. So let's start with the player bullet. Now, when my player bullet sprite touches the enemy, okay, I am going to make it change the enemy health by -1, so it deducts 1 health point from the enemy before it deletes itself and disappear. Okay, same thing for the enemy bullet sprite. If it touches the player, then I'm going to change the player's health point by -1 before it deletes itself and disappear. Okay, so this is the basic interaction to get the competition going. Alright, but I'm also going to add another condition. When the player health or the enemy health equals to 0, I'm going to lock the bullet sprite code such that their codes don't work anymore, because there's just no point for the bullets to keep firing on when either of the sprites have reached a 0 health point. So to do this, I'm going to do a simple code. When green flag is clicked, forever, if, I'm going to bring out an operator, bring out an OR block, I'm going to use the equal sign. Okay, if my enemy health equals to 0, so I'm going to pop it into the first hole under my OR block, going to duplicate this code, or if the player health equals to 0, so if either the player or the enemy health equals to 0, then I'm going to freeze this entire code. So how to do this? I'm going to go to Control, pull out a stop block, change it to stop other scripts in Sprite. So this stops all the other scripts here. Okay, now let's duplicate this code and put it in for our player bullet sprite as well. To do this, simply drag this code over the player bullet sprite. Once it starts to shake, let go and drop it in. And then when you click on your player bullet sprite, you will automatically see the duplicated code here. Okay, now let's add some feedback to the game. I'm going back to the enemy sprite. I'm going to make the enemy say something and give you instructions on what to do next once either of the sprites has won. Okay, so I'm going to do events to control this. When green flag is clicked, forever, if, I'm going to bring out operator, equal sign. Okay, if my enemy sprite senses that its health is 0, then I'm going to make it say, you win. Alright, and then I'm going to give it a bit of a pause. Okay, before giving another set of instructions. So this second set of instruction, I'm going to tell the player that, oh, you can click the green flag to play again. Okay, so this part is entirely up to you to what you want to set for your game. I'm going to do this as a quick example for a feedback. Wait about 1 second before I'm going to do a stop code for all the other scripts in this sprite. So I'm going to lock the movement of the enemy. Okay, so that you can't play it anymore. Alright, now I'm going to duplicate this code and I'm going to do a feedback for the player health as well. So forever, if player health equals to 0, then instead of you win, it's going to say you lose. And then click the green flag to try again. Alright, okay, so let's test this out. I'm going to activate my game. Okay, now as you can see, once my player sprite gets hit by the enemy bullet, it will start to decrease its health points. Okay, and once I shoot out bullets to hit the enemy health will decrease. Okay, so all my interactions are working properly. Alright, so you see that health points are decreasing. Okay, I'm going to play such that until the point whereby one of the sprites actually have a 0 health point. Okay, let's just sacrifice the player health to show you what happens. Okay, this means I want to show you the feedback. Alright, so there you go. Once I lose, once player health equals to 0, there's a feedback to say you lose, click the green flag to try again, and vice versa. Okay, now let's make the competition factor even higher. We're going to introduce a time variable to make it more competitive. Okay, so I'm going to create another variable called time. Okay, and I'm going to do it on the enemy sprite. Okay, I'm going to do the coding on the enemy sprite as well. Okay, I'm going to add on to this initial set variable code. I'm also going to set the time of the entire gameplay to about 30 seconds. Okay, and I'm going to create a code for the time to count down. Okay, so to do this is very simple. When green flag is clicked, forever, wait 1 second. So after 1 second, I am going to change my time by -1. So this is a very simple code for a countdown. Okay, now I'm also going to add feedback for the timer when the timer reaches 0. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this initial feedback code that I have. I'm just going to change some elements of it. When green flag is clicked, if time equals to 0, then instead of you lose, I will say game over. Okay, and then it's going to wait 1 second. Click the green flag to try again. Stop all the sprite. Okay, because the game over means the entire stop of the game. So let's test this out. Alright, I'm just going to shift this time variable to be in the middle. Okay. Oh, so now it's even more competitive. We have a countdown timer to time the entire game. So you have to kill the enemy sprite within the allocated. Okay, and this is what you can do to increase the